Last year, the Lafayette men's soccer team was in the Patriot League postseason hunt until the final minutes of the season. In the upcoming season, the Leopards look to make the next step, and they have a new class of recruits coming in. Adam Dobrowolski here with head coach Dennis Bohn, and coach, obviously an exciting class this year. 8 young men who will be adding it on to this program. Your thoughts overall on this incoming class?
Yeah, just really excited about the versatility, different positions, different dynamics that they can bring to the program, different strengths that we think can really add on to the group that's coming back.
You have a lot of guys with club experience. You are reaching guys who have local connection, guys who are even abroad, so kind of a well-versed class. The theme of your recruiting classes over the years, how does this class kind of fit in with what you normally look for?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, positionally across the board, we've covered most of the positions, which is something we want to try to do, continue to bring depth in at all the different positions. And we like to, geographically, search wherever we can to find the best players possible, the best student athletes possible. And we have locally taken care of that, which is most important in our backyard. But we were also able to branch out into Texas and abroad to bring in players that we feel can make an impact.
Any one particular area of the field that you feel might be strongest from this recruiting class? Because sometimes you've had really strong attacking players, sometimes really strong defending players. So what might be the biggest strength overall of this recruiting class?
Yeah, I mean, still the approach was to focus on the attack. We're statistically the top defensive team in the Patriot League, which is something historically we've been known for. But offensively, we still need to improve. And so, most of our guys that we are bringing in, we're really hoping can add to the offense.
You mentioned the offense, and that allows us now to go individually looking at each recruit. Last year, one of the top players, former Pennsylvania Player of the Year at Central Bucks East as a high school player, Evan Vare. You have that Central Bucks East connection again here with Chris Gomez. Now, he played 1 year at Central Bucks East, played 3 years in club, and then recently was at Syracuse University. He's transferring over here to College Hill. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, Chris is just an unbelievably talented player. He actually started classes this week, and so he'll be jumping into the program right away here in the spring semester and helping us out. He's a technical left-footed player, played for the Philadelphia Union Academy at the MLS level, played at spurts with the U.S. Youth National Team, just wanted to come back closer to home and make a bigger impact, and we're excited to have him from Syracuse, and we think he will make that immediate impact. But again, just a really talented, technical, creative player that we think will add to our offense.
Now, I know he had 1 year of experience at Central Bucks East, so he was not with Evan when he won the state championship. But you've had that Central Bucks East connection. Just looking at last year, Ben Marks, who graduated, played for obviously in the area, and then Evan, of course, as we mentioned him. How does that connection kind of help to streamline him right into your program?
Well, I think the fact that, he's friendly with Evan, knows Ben, even has a relationship a little bit with Sean Peckham, who played here years ago and was a captain on a championship team. He knows about our tradition, knows about our culture. And so, he's not only prepared physically, but I think also mentally understands what we're all about here, both athletically and academically.
Obviously, one important thing for the program, if you can streamline players from the same area, same high school, but obviously the family connection also helps that well. That allows us to look at our next recruit, the son of class of 92, James Robbins, and that is Kyle Robbins, who's had experience different places, 3 years of high school in Georgia, and then last year, obviously, the experience at Shattuck St. Mary's. Now, obviously, with the connection, the Lafayette connection with James Robbins, you know a little bit more about him and what he can bring to the table. What does he can do to help out the Leopards?
Yeah, Kyle, I know his father from back because he's a college coach, so I've known him for years now. His sons now are old enough to be recruited. Got an opportunity to see Kyle play for the actual regional team when he was living in Georgia. He was a starter on the regional team, ODP regional team. Got a chance to evaluate him there. Things worked out. A tremendous student, and now he's at Shattuck St. Mary's playing at an academy level and training full time there at their school. And so we feel like as an outside back, outside midfielder, flank player, Kyle's going to be able to come in right away and make an impact and compete for playing time.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the high school level, Shattuck St. Mary's is one of the top academies in the nation, streamlining players from high school to Division I soccer. So that obviously is a big help. But back to the family connection a little bit with the elder Robbins. He was the former head coach for women's soccer at LIU Brooklyn. He's now an assistant at North Dakota State. So how might that experience, having a father who's been coaching at the Division I level, how might that help his approach to immediately get used to Division I soccer?
Yeah, well, Kyle's a very mature young man, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that his dad was a college coach. So, understands the dynamic of academics and athletics, the intensity level, the competitiveness, the necessity to be fit, and put in, the time year round. So, just sitting at the kitchen table, I'm sure, with his dad for all these years has prepared him well for, the intensity of Division I athletics here at Lafayette.
We have also some other players from the backyard, as you would say, have said before, and we'll say again, the area, Eastern New York, Long Island type of area, New Jersey, and obviously Eastern Pennsylvania. One of those players who has played in New Jersey in the Garden State, Andrew Venezia at Christian Brothers Academy, also obviously has experience at the prep level with Cedar Stars Academy. He's been named number 8 in the region as a defender per Top Drawer Soccer. What do you see from him in terms of what he can bring to the program?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's just a tough, hard-nosed defender, a guy that I think will fit very well in the Patriot League. His another strong attribute is the fact that he's left-footed. So we're always trying to, as we brought in Chris Gomez, always trying to bring in left-footed players to fill that side of the field. And so, I think between Andrew's, again, maturity, strength, and left foot, he's going to have an opportunity to come in and hopefully give us some depth and competition at outside back.
What might that help out for versatility, being able to get some of those backs forward in certain key situations?
Yeah, I mean, the more that our backs can get forward into the attack and feel comfortable on the ball in the attacking third, creating goal-scoring opportunities with service or combination play, that's always helpful. So, in our mindset, most of our outside backs can play outside midfield. Most of our outside midfielders can play outside back, and I think Andrew fits that mold very well.
Two other players with the club experience at the local level. We'll first look at Brendan Mulligan, having played at Petty School in Hightstown, New Jersey, and obviously getting the club level for a state champion. What does he bring to the table, and how might that help to continue that familiarity that a lot of your players have with the Garden State?
Yeah, I mean, Brendan is just a really strong, technical, versatile player at the high school and club level. Has pretty much played everywhere on the field. We see him probably more as a central player for us coming into Lafayette next year and competing for playing time. But has played at a high level, has a lot of experience, has had a lot of success, and is just a really hard-working, talented kid.
One player he'll be familiar with, that's another one of your recruits, and Martin Sasenga. He had 3 years at Petty. He played his last year in Staten Island at Curtis High School, but a young man who obviously already has a connection with someone who he's coming in with. You've had that connection with your two center backs who are from the Long Island area who've worked together very well over the last 2 years in Chris Moyce and Joe DiStefano. How important it is to have two guys who are already familiar with each other at the club and high school level for multiple years?
Yeah, most of our successful teams have always had pairs of guys who either played in high school, grew up in the same town, played on the same club team, and the fact that Martin and Brendan both go to Petty together and played high school and play on Match Fit, who were the state champion club team last year. I think that familiarity will help on the field as far as chemistry, but I also think it'll give them someone else just socially that they know that they can go to and that they can feel comfortable with. So we're excited to have Brendan and Martin and again, just kind of continue that tradition of bringing in players from Petty in that central Jersey area.
So a lot of those players as recruits we just mentioned from the backyard, but we can obviously look a little bit further, a little bit more regionally as we go over towards the Delmarva area and a little bit more towards the nation's capital with Seth Rollins, who's from South County High School in Virginia. Played 2 years in high school, saw some time along the wing and forward, also played at the club level for a nationally ranked program. Your thoughts on what he brings to the program?
Yeah, Seth, is from FC Virginia, and it's just a really dynamic outside flank player that we feel like can give us a little bit of explosiveness out wide. Like Martin, we brought Seth and Martin both in to kind of try to create that kind of skill level on the flank for us, and we believe that Seth, if we can get Seth isolated 1v1 out wide, that he's going to cause some problems and really do a lot of positive things for us.
And for those two players, is there anyone in particular over recent years that the Leopards fans might be familiar with that they kind of remind you of?
Yeah, I think, you brought up Ben Marks a few minutes ago. I think that kind of exciting kind of 1v1 skill level of taking on defenders is something that I believe Martin and Seth both bring to the table. And so, it's always great when you can get somebody the ball and they can maybe create some offense on their own and really create some danger out wide. And so, can't wait to get Seth and Martin both here and get them the ball as much as possible.
We'll now look from regional now to national. Player from the Dallas-Arlington area in Texas, Alistair Person, played at Bowie High School, also has club experience, two-time all-district first-team player when he was in high school, and then played club ball for Chelsea Red. Your thoughts on him? What does he bring, and what might you have familiarity from his club play that really speaks well to transitioning to the Division I level?
Yeah, Alistair's a starter on Chelsea Solar, which is one of the top club teams, not only in Texas but in the country. He's a very fluid and smooth and lanky attacking player that we feel can play either out wide or essentially as an attacking center midfielder. He's tall. He's got a good frame on him. We think he's got a lot of room for growth physically, but skill level-wise, he'll be able to come in right away and compete at this level and be a guy that we can hopefully count on right away in his first season.
We saw, as we mentioned before, Evan Ver stand out as a freshman last year. Saw a young guy like Dillon Royalty add some speed. How does his game complement players like them who could become really key factors in 2017?
Yeah, Alistair's very creative. So, with Evan Ver, Dillon Royalty, James Gibson, bringing in someone like Seth and Martin, Alistair could be the guy that kind of sets the table. When he's out there, he's a little bit more of a playmaker, a facilitator. And so, again, I think if he can come in and physically handle the intensity and the physicality of the Division I level, he's got all the skill set to really set those other players up.
Last but not least, we look at the international level. A young man who is from America, but his mother got a teaching job at Hong Kong, so he has experience international as well. Pablo Moreno, what does he bring to the table?
Yeah, Pablo is a very strong target forward. He through the James Gibson at Singapore, we kind of started a connection in that area of the world, and so the Hong Kong connection came in based on that relationship, and we were able to get him over here in the summer to go to a camp, evaluate him, get to know him very well, and again, as a player, is just strong, plays with his back to goal, can post up, can lay balls off, can finish in the box, and will bring a little bit of a dynamic to our forwards position that we might be needing.
And obviously, one factor I think that is important with any recruiting class, one thing is I looked at doing my research on these young men. The common theme is good job academically, good job in terms of public service and service to the community. Overall, continuing that theme that not just here at Lafayette, but all the Patriot League schools in terms of student athletes and being sound on the field and in the classroom. These 8 recruits, how are they going to help out in terms of continuing that tradition?
Yeah, they're all great students. One of our goals when we look at a class is not only bringing in great athletes, but great students, and maybe even more importantly, great people. Also bringing in diversity, which we're really proud of, both geographic diversity, but also ethnic diversity. And so we feel like all the things that Lafayette would want out of any student, we have in this class. And we couldn't be prouder of bringing them to campus and getting them on College Hill next August.
Again, a great recruiting class, an exciting one. You can continue to follow Lafayette men's soccer at goleopards.com. Again, along with head coach Dennis Bohn, I'm Dobrowolski.